Valeria Ortiz is the founder of Vortiz Insurance, providing education and insurance packages for the Medicare marketplace. Vortiz is headquartered in Greeley, but expanding with agents around the Front Range of Colorado. I met Valeria in Greeley last fall at a 40 Under 40 event and started a conversation with her that soon resulted in her becoming a LoCo Think Tank member and agreeing to share her story as a guest on the LoCo Experience. Valeria's journey starts in San Juan, Puerto Rico, where she worked in marketing for a similar agency and continues to Colorado with her then husband. Too soon after, she found herself a single mother with limited English skills and few job prospects, and eventually finding stable work in a call center. Vortiz Insurance was started as a supplemental income source, but quickly grew and became a solid one-person business. It was the addition of her first employee, however, that allowed Valeria to scale the enterprise. A continuing focus on community, education, and heart-driven service, especially to the Spanish-speaking communities, has allowed her to build a network and a reputation that is second to none. And I'm excited for big things to come. So please enjoy, as I did, my conversation with Valeria Ortiz.
Let's have some fun.
Welcome to the LoCo Experience podcast. On this show, you'll get to know business and community leaders from all around northern Colorado and beyond. Our guests share their stories, business stories, life stories, stories of triumph and of tragedy, and through it all, you'll be inspired and entertained. These conversations are real and raw, and no topics are off limits. So pop in a breath mint and get ready to meet our latest guest. Welcome back to the LoCo Experience podcast. So today I'm happy to be joined by Valeria Ortiz, and she's the agency owner at Vortiz Insurance Group. And so Valeria and I met at a 40 Under 40 where she was awarded a top young person around.
Yes.
And I really enjoyed her story and invited her on right away.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity. This is amazing. I think it's the first time I do a podcast, so
Yeah?
I feel special.
Well, I suspect it will not be the last. So I guess why don't we just start with, why don't you tell us what you do down there at Vortiz?
Of course, yeah. Well, Vortiz Insurance, we are an agency for Medicare, health, and life insurance brokers. Basically, we mostly specialize in Medicare, so we work a lot with seniors, and I gotta say I'm one of the very few ones that do this in Spanish too. So we serve over almost 800 seniors in the Greeley, northern Colorado area, and now I currently have a team of other 5 agents under me. So very exciting. It just happened a couple of years ago. I've been doing Medicare since like 2013, but the agency part of it just started, and it's been like a snowfall.
Oh, so it was you kind of on your own for a long time, and you started adding agents, and now it's like everybody wants to be a part of Vortiz Insurance.
I know, yeah. So that's exactly how it happened. I was just me for a long time, and then I said, well, why don't I just build a team, because there's so much need in doing Medicare insurance, especially in Spanish, or people that speak Spanish. And I need help, so let's build a team. And I just post a Facebook thing saying, if you want to do this, let me know. And boom, 5 people.
And are those people being successful? They're finding clients and helping them.
Mm-hmm.
I was a banker for a long time, and my first sales training was selling is helping. And I sensed that within you from the first moment we talked, really.
For sure. Yes, exactly. I mean, of course, my agents are not my employees. They work independently, but I coach them and mentor them. So some of them are more like part-time. They don't want to do it full-time. But I got to say, I have a great team, loving it. They're learning a lot and very quickly. And I have a couple of good agents are very active and doing a lot of things with the community.
That's great.
And all around Colorado. So it's not only in northern Colorado.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I have a couple here, and then I have one in Boulder and another one in Colorado Springs. So
that's
we're kind
amazing.
of like all around. Yeah.
Will you continue to be kind of maybe have a specialty in serving that underserved market of Spanish speakers?
Yes.
Are all your agents Spanish speakers as well?
Yes. Out of the 5, 4 are bilingual. So that's my main focus. If you want to work with me, I mean, I don't mind if you don't speak Spanish, but my focus is to find bilingual agents or people that want to do Medicare insurance. They speak Spanish. So.
in addition to telling the business journey, and I do want to do a little bit more in learning that, but I would love to learn more about Medicare.
Yeah.
Because I think that you're probably an expert at it by now. Is it, to my memory, is it right when you turn 65 you're qualified? And it's kind of so most of your new clients are 63 or 64 and they're starting to look at their options and stuff?
Exactly. I mean, Medicare, it's like a maze of options and where do you go and what do you do. But yes, it starts right when you turn 65 or before 65 if you have a disability through Social Security. So we have some younger clients are on disability and they have Medicare, but most of our clients are 65 or over. And basically what we do is, and it's interesting because we teach the clients how to manage Medicare and also how to to understand their options and what to do and when you're penalized, when you're not, if you keep working, what happens, a lot of those things. Just because a lot of our seniors nowadays, they don't want to retire right at 65, right? So they want to continue working and doing and continue with their employer plans sometimes. So we basically serve them as a guide through the maze. That's how I like to call it. We guide you depending on your needs, and then because we are brokers, we represent mostly every company, so we can guide you no matter what option.
So are there a lot of different prices and options for those different things, those different plans? I know there's Medicare Part B, Part D, whatever.
Yeah, Part A, B, C, D, all that. Yes, there's a lot of options, and within every option, there's a lot companies. So if you go, for example, with Medicare supplements, there's 40 companies that you can pick out, and then
they kind of fill in the gaps of the MAZE plan.
And if you go with Medicare Advantage, there's every company have 4 or 5, 10 plans. So it's a lot of options.
Interesting. It seems like it should almost be more standardized. And do different companies rate different people differently from a health standpoint and stuff?
No.
That doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter your health when you're on Medicare. The only thing that matters is that you pay your taxes and you work in the United States for at least 10 years. And that's all you need. And once you become eligible for Medicare, then you need to pick a plan. Now, if you don't pick a plan, that's when penalties come and then you get penalized. So that's why we are very into.
So you really have to make sure you do it.
Period. We that's why we like you said, we love to educate the community and say, okay, this is what you need to do. Let us know if we can help you with that, right? We just educate. That's the whole.
So is that how you gain a lot of your customers? Is having workshops and seminars and going down to the senior center or whatever? And
I mean, we just opened a local store, and I think I'm the very first one that has a store for Medicare plans. It was an idea because so many of my clients meet with me in person, and I was in a different office just sub-renting a little space, and all these all my clients coming in, stopping by with questions or issues, and I'm like, we need a place that everybody can just stop by, and that's what we did just a month ago. We opened. So
congratulations.
Thank you. It's very exciting because now we're gonna have that place where they can just stop by and get answers to their questions. But to your question, if they don't do it on time, then they get penalized.
And probably get the worst plan chosen for them,
right?
Or at least one that isn't necessarily a good fit for their family or whatever. Interesting. So I don't know how. Tell me about your compensation model, from a business standpoint. I'm imagining that probably you get a little override on your agents' commissions or whatever, and then it's just a commission thing based on. Is there different sizes of plans and stuff too?
That's the fun thing, and that's what makes our job easier. We get paid the same no matter what company or plan
that's nice.
The client picks. So that's why we're really into this. What's best for you,
fit
right?
Because we get paid the same.
It doesn't matter what you pick. Maybe some plans have a little bit less commission, but it's not a big deal that makes a difference. You make commissions based on, and also the commission changes based on when you enroll the client. If the client is for the very first time enrolling with you, you get the higher commission. But if that client already had a Medicare plan and you're just switching it to something different, then your commission is lower.
Sure.
But that still helps. But what we really work towards in this type of business is to build your book of business, because you do get a monthly renewal per active client.
Gotcha.
So we really
So the big commission is up front, but if you keep somebody for 20 years, you might get 2/3 of the money over time.
Exactly. And then every month you get a commission based on your active clients. So that's what we aim to kind of keep our clients happy and active and,
And then if they've got a claim that they're struggling with or something, you're also there to help them navigate that, and you know who to talk to at such and such company or whatever. Interesting.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, additional to that, we also help you look out to see if you qualify for any assistance through the state. There's a lot of Medicaid or programs that you can get discounts or assistance with the Medicare costs. So we help with that. We also help every year making sure you have the right plan, because your health can change. Maybe now you don't need anything, and then next year you need something different. So we do that follow up with you.
Yeah, like a review, almost like a financial planner would be with their investments. Here's how your Medicare plan is working for you right now.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yep.
So do you have any help? It seems like administratively there's a lot going on, and you've got this walk-in office. Most of your agents probably, or some of them, work there with you too.
No, not really. It's just
you.
Me. Just me and my agency, because like I said, my agents are not my employees, so they don't want to be.
So they do what they want to.
They do what they want. Of course, my office is open for them if they need anything, but they have their own places too.
Yeah.
But I do have my assistant, Dayanira. She's amazing. Love her. I mean, I'm like, thank God I found you.
How long has that been?
She's been working with me for 1 year and a couple of months.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was hard for me to, I guess, let go.
Yeah. Well,
and find someone to help, I guess.
I describe adding that first employee as, like, to be able to afford that person. Like, there's always never quite enough cash flow, and so you got to pedal the bicycle faster than you physically can sustain for a while, and then like jump off and build another seat for somebody else to pedal with you.
Exactly, yes.
And start being trusting enough to give them things to do that are important.
Yes, and it's been a learning curve. I mean, because I did this for so long by myself, I gotta say I spoil my clients a little bit. And now they're just adjusting to listening to somebody else.
Yeah.
And she's been amazing, very patient, very understanding. Like, okay, I know you want to talk to Valeria, but she's not available right now, and
Valeria's
I'm here to
busy,
help.
Bitch.
Not like that, but I'm like, yeah. I mean, my clients some of them are a little bit harder than others. Trying to. No, I don't want to talk to you.
Right. Yeah.
But and she's been, fully trained. She knows a lot about. Most of our clients, when they call us, is because they need something through customer service.
Right.
And even if they call me or they talk to me, I have to call customer service. I don't have a way.
And then you spend time on the phone with both kind of thing and stuff.
So I'm trying to have her do all that. But some clients are no.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it's a learning experience for sure.
I would love to know how you got into the business. Like, what was, and we'll jump in the real-time machine as well, but like, what got you interested in this industry? Or
well, I'm from Puerto Rico, so I did it in Puerto Rico for 1 year. My mom does Medicare insurance in Puerto Rico, and when I'm a teen mom too, so I had my son when I was 15, and when my mom helping me and trying to kind of help me, keep moving and
not get stuck in life because you were a teen mom kind of thing.
So she said, well, you need a job that you have flexibility and that you have good income, but you don't need to be 9 to 5 in a place, because you have a baby and you're gonna have responsibilities. And she's been doing insurance for like 30 plus years, so she's like, you should do insurance. And she started doing Medicare maybe like 10 years ago, and she said, the company that I'm working for is hiring marketing. So it wasn't really a salesperson. It was more like just to promote the plans. And she said, you should try and see how you feel about it. So that's how I got into
That was the first spark.
The first part where I was just, marketing, promoting, outreach. That was what I was doing. And then they saw my potential. The company was like, we need to get you licensed. You'll be a good agent. And I'm like, okay. And I got licensed, and of course,
and you're like 17 years old at this point?
No. I was
that was a little bit later.
Yeah,
okay.
I was later. I was like maybe 19.
So much different.
Yeah.
I feel like the journey isn't going to be done justice unless we jump in the time machine to like third grade or something, and coming from Puerto Rico to America and all of those things. Like there's so many turns that even in our short coffee. So let's jump in.
Yeah.
Were you from the city in Puerto Rico, San Juan?
Yes. Well, next to San Juan, Carolina is where I'm from. So basically, the airport is actually in Carolina, but they say welcome to San Juan, but it's actually Carolina.
So the big liars with that sign. Yeah. I've been to Puerto Rico just once on a cruise, actually, so I don't know where the airport is, I guess.
But yeah, it's basically the metro area. Yes.
And that's a pretty big city, right? Is it 1 million people or something like that?
In Puerto Rico,
a few million?
Yeah, a couple. I think 2.5, 3 million.
And then the whole island is maybe 5 or something.
Yeah.
So it's like half the people live in the city and half scattered around.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. Everything has changed so much. But I know the whole island is like less than 5 million. So,
is that right?
Yeah, like 4 maybe. So
wow.
Everybody else is in Florida.
Yeah. Right. Someone to New York years ago. They don't do that anymore.
No, not anymore.
So tell me about your childhood. Do you have siblings, brothers, sisters? Your mom was in the insurance industry. I know that. Yeah.
So I grew up with a single mom, 2 brothers younger than me. I'm the older sister. Okay. So I was like mama bear too with them. And yeah, I mean, I lived my whole life, and I lived in San Juan my first 12 years, and then we moved to Carolina when I was in almost high school. So
was your mom a single mom the whole time?
Yes. Wow. Yes. Yeah, she was just raising us. And something I'm very happy, and I think that's why I'm the way I am, is that she was always there for us. And that type of job, having, doing insurance, being independent, it helped with just being able to afford all the things we wanted, and also support and be there and be present.
Yeah, so, still come to school activities and different things like that.
Everywhere.
And tell me about, like, what kind of a student were you?
Oh my gosh, very naughty one.
That's surprising to me somehow.
I wasn't a straight A student at all.
Well, how much attention did you pay?
Barely. Like, I was like, let me just pass the class. I gotta be honest. But I was very active in the school, even though I wasn't really good, like doing stuff on time or, completing my homework or whatever. I was very active, like doing clubs. I used to dance. So I've been a dancer my whole life, and I was always like looking for opportunities to do a dance club, teaching other kids how to dance, participating, like doing like talent shows and, all those things. So I was very active in the school and
I've been to downtown San Juan and the clubs and things like that. Like the ladies there especially can dance.
Oh, yes, we can dance.
I can't do that.
We can dance for sure, yeah.
So that was your like passionate about that kind of cultural elements more so than the academic elements.
Yep. But I did pass.
School? Was it public school?
Public school, yeah. Big school. But I had my son when I was in 10th grade.
Yeah.
So that's part of my life. I don't even remember it a lot because I was so busy with going to school and then having a baby and then going to work and then school. And then, it passed like flash. It was
that
like
whole teenage years was just like, wow.
It was a tough time, but my mom was there with me.
And what your son's father was not there?
No.
Right from the start? Yeah.
No, wasn't there. So
is that common in Puerto Rico, or just you and your mom like set a trend? Or
know.
No?
It's very common. Unfortunately, it is very common. I don't know. It's a lot of single moms in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Were you surprised? Were you hurt, shocked at that time that he didn't want to be a part of that? Or
I think he did want to be a part of. I did.
You didn't want him to be a part of it.
Yes, and that's maybe the reason why there's so many single moms in Puerto
just
Rico.
Aren't that many
We're
great guys.
Very strong. Like our character is very strong, and if you don't match what we need or what we want, you can go. We're not scared of being alone.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's basically.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah, maybe that's why we're not afraid of telling you need to leave.
Yeah.
So.
That's I can appreciate that very much. So life goes on. Did you just stay in the insurance industry then for quite a while, or
Well,
I don't remember what the
Mhm.
timeline of your transition to.
No, what I started was after I graduated from high school. My first job was, or my actual real job to call it that way, was in a call center. So selling over the phone.
Okay.
I started selling DirecTV over the phone and
To Puerto Rican customers or
Yeah.
to okay.
Puerto Rico, yeah, all in Spanish. And then I became very good at that, and they moved me to do quality control and sales trainings for the staff.
Wow, nice.
So I did that for like 5 years before I moved into the insurance part.
Oh wow, okay,
Mhm,
I see.
Yeah, and then I did insurance, but then I got married during that time, and then I did the insurance for like 2 years, and then I moved to Colorado. So,
I see.
So it was in the transition from one industry to the other, but it's always been like sales or selling.
And you were at this time you were still predominantly Spanish speaking.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I didn't learn English.
No, you didn't take any English lessons as a teenager or as a kid
No.
in elementary school or nothing.
Well, in Puerto Rico, we have, like, here you have Spanish, right,
Yeah.
in school. In Puerto Rico, we have English as part of the curriculum. So from kindergarten all the way to high school, like senior year, you have to take English class.
Every year?
Every single year.
Oh, wow.
So that's why a lot of us, we do understand a lot and we can read it and write it, but not, when it comes to speak, it's a little bit harder because we don't really speak English.
Right, and there just aren't that many people to practice on.
No, not at all. I mean, there's a lot of like private schools that you can get full bilingual, like everything in English if you want, but in my case was all in Spanish.
Yeah, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so you meet this boy, get married.
Yes.
And it was it his work that brought you to Colorado?
Yes.
Was that right?
Yes. So after I was very, happy with my new job, Medicare insurance, I got promoted for sales, I got licensed. I had a good salary in Puerto Rico. He said I have to move. It was a time of his life that he needed a better job. So his brother used to live here in Colorado, in Boulder area, and he moved first and kind of find a job and all that stuff in Loveland. So that's why I end up here in Greeley, I guess.
What kind of work did he come
He used
for?
to do customer service as well, but so he started doing a job like customer service.
So it was really like just kind of seeking the more opportunity of like, were you
and the better salary
on board with that? Were you apprehensive?
I honestly, I was so young.
Right.
I mean, I was like 21.
Different.
So I was like, and I was about to have my second son. So it was like, I gotta go. And I mean, I think in the back of my mind, I always thought about moving to the States. It was always in my mind. I want to move. Never thought it was gonna be Colorado. Never.
Yeah.
I didn't even know where Colorado was.
Right. Yeah, we don't.
Colorado.
We don't have very many Puerto Ricans
where's
here,
that?
like you
Alaska.
say.
I didn't even know. So when I moved, it was a huge transition, but I wasn't scared. I was just, let's do it. I've been always an adventurer, so I think it was fun. Like, okay, an amazing new place, snow and mountains. Okay, let's do it.
Well, and it's not the same, obviously, but the Hispanic culture and it's kind of the Southwest, and I guess Colorado was part of Mexico virtually at one point in time, right?
Right.
And so there's a lot of influence. Although Puerto Rico is more Spanish, like, so you probably have a different kind of Spanish than Mexican Spanish too, right?
Yes. And that's a funny story because I have a lot of Mexican clients, of course. Most of my clients are Mexican. And my mom, when I'm home in Puerto Rico and I have to answer a phone call, she's like, "What are you speaking like a Mexican?"
Right.
And it's because honestly, it's the way that they can understand me. In Puerto Rico, we roll our R's. We change the R for an L a lot of times. We use words in a different way. So if I speak the way I speak to my mom, they're not going to understand anything I'm saying. So I have to switch it. Honestly, that's my survival mode. Like, I have to switch it so they understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, for sure.
And it has bring me a lot of clients. I mean, there's a lot of clients that would say, "Oh my gosh, I how well you speak Spanish, and I'm like,
and
okay.
in your mind, you're like, well, I'm kind of talking this mutt Spanish from the Mexico.
I'm just copying your accent, but that's okay.
Alma in my office is bilingual, and last time she went to Mexico, they would ask, Spanish okay? And she's like, yeah. And so they start talking Spanish, and she's barely keeping up and whatever. So they like switch to English on her. They're like,
it can be very different.
She was a little embarrassed. She was like, I must be not using my Spanish enough,
Yeah.
So
it requires a lot of practice for sure.
Well, and do you switch, like if you're home for a few days, do you like get to your...
Oh, yeah. If you hear me talking to my mom, my brothers...
Just automatically
standard, goes back to my standard, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you pack up the truck. So he came first. What was your husband's name?
Luis.
So Luis came first and like found a place to live and got the job settled up and whatever. And you're like, I'm 5 months now,
Yeah.
So I guess that makes your second child then a U.S. citizen because was born here.
Yeah, well, we are in Puerto Rico. Doesn't matter.
Oh, duh.
So,
sorry.
He was born in Puerto Rico, actually, and we moved after that.
Right after.
Yeah, but I got to say, the culture is very different. So he's more American than my younger.
Right, he hasn't hardly
oldest.
experienced Puerto Rico at all.
I mean, he loves Puerto Rico. He says I'm Puerto Rican. But the way of, seeing him grow now, he's 9. I'm like, dude, you're not like
you can't even.
You don't talk back to me. You don't need space. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm your mom. You do what I say. I don't care. But he's more like, he's grown with Americans and his friends from school, and so he's just learning that way of parenting, I guess. And I'm like, not in this household.
In this walls?
No.
This is Puerto Rico. This is a little...
Yeah. We spank you here.
So tell me what you thought when you got here. Like, you obviously got a fresh baby. Were you able to be like a stay-at-home mom for a while? You have to go right to work,
I hated it. But yes. So I moved with an almost 1-year-old son to Greeley. So it was a huge change straight from the island paradise to Greeley, Colorado.
Right.
So it took a lot of adjustment for me. I was wearing a coat even with 70 degrees, and I was like super cold all the time. And also, staying home. But I've been always like very adventurous. I love to meet people and go places. So I just started doing every single touristic thing you could do in Colorado. So that helped, kind of fall in love with the area and with the state.
It's pretty amazing. Like, you can go someplace new every weekend for the rest of your life.
Oh, of course. I mean, we weren't very good financially, so it was kind of like, but I found this website that it was like free in Colorado or something like that. And that's what I was going every week. They had like different places that you could go for free.
Right.
And that's how we went to a bunch of like museums and events and festivals and concerts.
Yeah, and gas was affordable back then. When was this, by the way?
2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long before you got the itch to get back into the work world? Or
well, yeah, I stayed home like not even 6 months, I think. When I saw the cost of child care,
right?
Oh my gosh, I was like, it's cheaper to just fly back to Puerto Rico and drop them off.
Just about.
Dang it. But but again, I was bored at home all day and I needed to learn English. So I was like, I need to get out and also I needed to support the family too. So I found a job. My very first job was cleaning offices. So I started cleaning offices, and then I
kind of off hours, so your husband could be home from work. And
exactly.
You could just, okay, I'll see you in 6 hours.
Yeah. So it was during the night, but I only lasted there like 3 months or so because I was like, I'm all surrounded with Spanish-speaking, employees or other.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm never going to learn
English.
Yeah, I'm never going to learn English. And then because of my experience working for call centers, I found a job in a call center in Greeley. And it was...
they needed Spanish speakers? They needed English speakers?
They needed Spanish speakers. And when I did the interview, I don't even know how I don't even know how they understood me. But they said, you're hired. Okay. It was, oh my gosh, it was a hard time in my life because think about it. We only had one car, and the training for the position, even though the position was going to be in the night, the training was during the day, of course, and it was a whole month of a training.
Oh.
And I had to do public transportation from my house to the daycare because I paid for daycare for 1 month. I remember it was like $1,200 for the whole month. And then
sign of your first paycheck.
Yep. And then I had to drive or take the bus to the daycare and then another bus to the training every single day in the morning to make it on time. And then
you got like 12-hour days to get in 8 hours of training.
Yes. And then look at this. After I finished the whole month of training, they said to me, and the training was in English, but I could understand everything. I passed. Everything was good, but I wasn't really speaking, right?
Yeah. Because a lot of the training and the testing is in written English.
Exactly. So it was easier for me.
Yeah.
And then they said, right, that same day, okay, thank you. You're all trained. You're good to go. But we got to say, we don't have the Spanish queue anymore. So the line for Spanish-speaking agents, we don't need it anymore. If you want to continue in this position, you can, but you have to go
sign up on the English
team. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to do this.
I'm guessing you weren't quite as capable with your English.
Not at all. I mean, no. And oh my gosh, I remember that trainer. She's a very important part of my life because she was the one that really pushed me. She was like, you got this. You did the training. You're good. You're going to be fine. Just listen to everybody and you'll be fine. I'm like,
I can't understand them really.
I know. I was more about.
But you could understand a little better than you could
speak. And then, and I remember I was like, I already paid for the daycare. Like, I already did the whole month of transportation, of doing all the sacrifice to be here and have a job. And I was like, okay, let's just try. And God bless those first couple of clients because
right.
I don't know. And it was technical support. So imagine trying to help someone fixing their Wi-Fi or, technical support with their internet and not even being able to speak the right way. Oh my gosh, it was.
So were you like outside of the training, were you technically savvy and stuff? So you at least had a good understanding of the topic and stuff like that? Because you're a millennial basically, right? Or
yeah. So it wasn't hard. The technical part, it was easy for me.
Right.
And also because I work in a call center in quality control, I knew a lot of how to phone ethics and how to speak and all that. It was just translating everything and trying to communicate the right way.
Yeah, translate it to Spanish from English. Quickly figure out and then think in Spanish and then translate it to English and then talk soon enough to have them not get too bored.
Exactly. So I mean, some clients weren't very happy, but I guess I learned a lot by listening. So it was just more copying everybody.
I was just going to ask that because there's people around you in cubicles and stuff.
So I was just copying whatever they were saying. I was just trying to repeat that and and just put him on my own way. And it was hard the first, I guess, couple of months. It was just like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm saying it right. And, but I had next to me this guy. He was Mexican, so he could really kind of help me if I couldn't understand something. He was kind of helping me translating sometimes. And then, of course, everybody it was so nice. And that's something I got to say. If you want to learn a language, put yourself in a situation that nobody else speaks your language.
Yeah, like total immersion.
Yeah, because your brain is going to switch automatically. It's a survival thing. You have to speak. You're going to have to do it. So that helped me. And then, and I know Puerto Ricans, we are so afraid sometimes to speak because we're like, oh, I never speak English, but we understand everything, but we're like, oh. And it's more of that fear and not really that you don't know it. It's just being scared.
But with your helpful, your servant-hearted kind of wiring, and there's somebody that needs help, so it's like, well, it's my job to help them.
Yes.
The LoCo Experience is sponsored by InMotion, providing next-day delivery for local businesses. If you need anything delivered in northern Colorado, InMotion's flat fee service is a great resource for your business. Delivering from the Wyoming border to Denver and anywhere in between, their clients range from small breweries to real estate companies. InMotion can deliver almost anything you can imagine. If this fits a need for your business, contact InMotion directly by emailing them at inmotionnoco@gmail.com. That's INMOTIONNOCO@gmail.com and mention you heard it on the LoCo Experience.
So it was good, and I gotta say I was blessed with all the people around me helping me and supporting me. Nobody really, maybe they did it, but I never noticed criticized me or
Yeah.
or made fun of me because
Well,
of my accent or nothing like that.
Is that part of the Colorado culture, you think? That kind of
Yeah.
general helpfulness
I
nature?
guess so. Yeah, I guess so.
Is it more so than Puerto Rico? I don't know about like
Yeah.
at least like Costa Rica when I've been over
Mhm.
there and stuff. They're like very chivalrous and things,
Mhm.
especially for ladies. A
Yeah.
door never has to get opened by herself a lot of times. I
Uh-huh.
don't know, is Puerto Rico that way too?
Yes, we're very I gotta say when
And-
it's very into like image, like how do you look, how do you
Mm,
speak, how do you do things, like we can be very hard on
can
ourselves
be kind of judgy
and
of
judgy,
each other or
judgmentals.
yourselves.
Yes, for sure.
Colorado's a little more easygoing. Like,
Oh, for sure. Yes.
yeah, it's well, even just going to Denver, it's funny. Like
Uh-huh.
the business, like I'm pretty dressed up for a business person in Northern Colorado, but
Yeah.
in Denver, where's your tie, young
I
man? Or
know.
some
Oh.
of the cities out east and stuff like
Yes.
that.
Yeah, I mean in Puerto Rico, don't you dare to go to flip-flops anywhere but the beach.
Fair.
Nowhere else. Or PJs to Walmart. No, you're gonna be on YouTube and Facebook. Like, no, don't never do that.
Early in my banking career, I got scolded for having a short sleeve shirt on. Like, oh, get those
Oh.
hairy appendages out of this office. And I was like, it's hot today, man. But that's changed quite a bit.
Yeah.
And banking was one of the last ones to come
Uh-huh.
along.
So yeah, I gotta say I've been blessed. I mean, good people, good experiences. Even with me not knowing what to say, but yeah.
So I'm guessing by 3 or 6 months in,
Mhm.
you're feeling a lot more comfortable in the role, probably getting promoted or becoming a trainer.
not that, but very comfortable. Made a lot of friends. And then I started doing the Medicare business because I already had a license.
Oh,
So I was like, okay, it's time I'm already used to the community. I
Yep.
know where I'm going, and now I feel comfortable speaking
yeah.
and taking
Well,
training.
the call center is, you're only going to go up to so high and then come around there.
So I started doing or transfer my license from Puerto Rico to Colorado and then started building the business here.
While you kept the other job, or did
Yes.
you just, okay.
Yes, so I did full time. So I did the mornings with my baby. I found this very good friend. She's still my friend, but she was like a grandma to my son,
Oh.
and she helped me with him for a couple of hours every other day in the week. And I used
That's when
that
you would use
time
that. And,
to outreach, do events, and start training, all
Wow.
that stuff. And then during the night, during the call center. So I did that like for 1 year and a half. Both building the business and working in the nights
yeah.
for a call center.
How was that?
A lot.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I mean,
Did your
I
kids
love
accept
to work.
that much departure from mom and stuff? Because they
Yes.
got the Puerto Rican attitude too.
Yeah,
And they're like, yeah.
I gotta do it. So it was fun. I mean, because it was my own business, I gotta say I did have the flexibility of being a sports and taking them places and doing things.
Yeah.
It wasn't really like another job, full-time job. So I had to do it step by step. But because I'm coming from Puerto Rico, where we do Medicare insurance over there, so different than in Colorado. We're more like aggressive and more like we sell. We love to sell. We have this,
It's almost
swag.
like a street carnival kind of thing.
Yeah.
I got this.
I know. So I apply a bunch of those strategies in Colorado when I started. So what they said, I remember my manager, he said, you should be good like in 3-4 years. You should be, have good book of business. And I did it in 1 year.
Yeah.
Because not only I had all those strategies and experience from Puerto Rico with very hard customers and, very strong will clients saying no. And then I came here and applied all that, and also being the only person doing it in Spanish. Oh my gosh, it was peaches and cream. It was like, this is so easy.
You were like almost immediately making twice as much as a call center once you built that book.
Yep. So I did that for a year, and then I said bye-bye to the call center and move it to start the business. With my renewals were at the time only like less than $1,000 a month.
Oh.
From the
So
Medicare business.
Yeah. So you got to keep finding new customers.
Oh yeah, because my first year I only made like 24, maybe 30 clients in a whole year,
Mm-hmm.
because of the most of the time what I did were events and trying to
Well, and plus
build
you
that
had
reputation.
3 hours twice a week. or
Exactly. So it
something.
wasn't very long. And so I got the big check in the first of the year, and then the renewals of the active clients, and then it was it. And I was like, I got to do it, because if I continue on the part-time job in the nights, it's not going to help me grow the business.
Yeah.
So I took the
Comes a
leap
time
of
where you've
faith
got to
and-
jump out of the airplane.
Yep,
and trust the
just
parachute.
work. And I think it's my whole life, if I have a motivation that I need to do it or I'll die, I will do it. It keeps me on top of things.
Yeah. My friend Mike, when I was in my entrepreneurial journey one time, said, "Hey, it's all right, Bear. I know you're broke and kind of depressed right now, but I didn't really get super motivated until I was super desperate either."
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. You need that like survival mode, and you'll do it.
Yeah, it's easy to make phone calls when the fridge is getting empty, or whatever.
Yep, and you need a car payment to do and bills to pay.
Yeah,
You'll
and I
find
mean,
clients.
cost of living, even from that time that you first got here, it was going up and up, and
It
has continued to still.
Yes.
So, on the business front, I guess it was
Yeah.
kind of business as usual for a while. Just you slowly growing as a solopreneur,
Yep.
until such point that you hired your first assistant here.
Yes. So I did the all by myself for 4 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. Yep.
Around that, and then I was like, okay, I need someone to answer my phone because it's ringing all the time. And that's how she started. And now she's part of the, very important part of the business.
Does she work at all for your agency, your contractors? No.
A little bit more like support, like if
Yeah.
they have a question or something, or where to find this or that.
Yeah.
She helps them. So
But really, you're still kind of the big horse as far as
Yeah.
making, the most customers and
yeah, and finding opportunities for them and giving them sales opportunities or events.
right.
to
Or if you got somebody in
participate.
Colorado Springs, you're
yeah,
like,
referring
hey,
them.
let's plan a
Mhm.
few events. Here's
Yeah.
some connections, or at
Yep.
least go call the senior center, see if you can do a thing down
Yeah.
there. Or I don't know. Do they have? I guess I'm imagining that most
Mhm.
towns have, like here in Fort Collins, we have the Azatlan Center.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with that?
No,
It's like a
no.
rec center
Uh-huh.
kind of thing, but it's at least in part kind of a Hispanically
Okay.
cultural
Uh-huh.
center of sorts, or tries to be, and it's city sponsored. And
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if there aren't similar kinds of things.
Yeah, there is a couple in Well, there's one in Greeley actually, and
Yeah.
there's one I think in every city they have one. But I gotta say honestly, most of the Hispanic Latinos that go to those places, they also speak English.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so we're doing a lot of investigation, and we've seen that most of the Spanish speaking only, seniors, they are either living with family or maybe they just don't go. They go to maybe the grocery store that is like Mexican or Latino grocery store. They don't
Yeah.
really participate in,
Yeah.
in senior centers or nothing like that. Yeah.
That's something that, Alma being on the team here, I've
Mhm.
kind of grown an awareness even for the Spanish-speaking business
Uh-huh.
owners.
Yeah.
Like they don't
We don't even know
really-
what networking is.
Right.
Honestly,
Yeah, they
when
don't
I
really
moved,
engage,
when I moved here, they say, "Oh, you want to go networking?" I'm like, "What is that? And what do you eat it with?"
Right.
Oh my gosh, I was like, networking. I don't even know. I didn't even know what that was.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think it's part of. We don't even have anything like that in Puerto Rico. There's no networking groups.
As far as you're ever seen,
No.
no BNIs or things like
Nothing,
that, whatever.
No, not at all. And it's same. We have tried. I've been a couple of different networking groups, and yes, I mean now it's a little bit more popular, I guess. But we've seen that a lot of like Spanish speaking business owners don't even participate.
no,
They don't know about it, or they don't want to. I think it's just a matter of education. Like, what is it about? How much do I have to pay? Some of them it's something that we don't know.
Yeah. I was just thinking to myself, because Alma and I were talking about the same thing. She came to a tabletop networking. I don't know if you've ever been to one of those.
Oh, never, but I heard of
And
it.
she was
Yeah.
like, I'm the only brown skinned person here
Mhm.
again, and like
Yeah.
there should be more,
Uh-huh.
the whether it's the taco trailer or whatever,
Uh-huh.
there's a lot of Spanish business people that
Oh,
even
yes.
auto shops and things like that.
And very successful ones.
Oh, yeah.
but I don't know. We just
Yeah.
do our thing. And
Yeah. Well, we're trying to figure out ways that we can open that door. I was just thinking to
yes.
myself, we should do some Spanish language Facebook posts and things like that, even, and just to say,
yes.
hey, we'd love to invite Spanish business people in, because most of them at least have a passable English, even if they're not comfortable.
Right. Yeah. And I guess it's more about you need to find that leader that brings them in, because that's the way we are. If we trust you and you invite me, I'll go.
Yeah.
But you just by seeing something on Facebook or an email, I'm not even gonna read it.
Yeah. So it's a challenge, but
yes.
I'm on it anyway.
But
or at least attentive to it.
Me too. It's important. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you've been doing some of the networking things and stuff, and I think that. How did you hit the attention of the 40 under 40 crew? Did one of your team or
don't know? I mean, most of my thank God, because I've been doing so many networking and a lot of education, and I train a lot. Like I don't even care if your team is not seniors, but if you want to learn about Medicare, I'll do a training, It's because I think the more people that knows about it, the better we can serve the community.
Sure.
So I do a lot of training, I do a lot of events, I do a lot of education, and because of that, I become very popular in my community with other businesses. Thank God if you ask them about Medicare, they're going to refer you to me. I have a lot of partners referring to me all the time. So most of our clients are referral based. 95% are referrals. So because of that, I get nominated by things like, anyone that's doing a great job, and they nominate me, and I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I didn't even know about it, honestly. I was like,
never heard of that thing before.
Never heard of it. I got an email saying you've been nominated and this is what you need to do, and send us this and that, and I'm like, oh, cool, okay.
Why not? Yeah.
And that same day, a friend of mine sent me a Facebook messenger. Hey, congratulations, you got nominated. I'm like, what? I didn't even know.
That's cool.
And she's like, yeah, you're there. And I'm like, oh, okay. So she explained to me how it works, what it was, all the things, and I'm like, okay, well, thank you. So yeah, it's been like that.
Are you like a connector type too? Do you because you're getting to know all these different business people from different areas, do you make a lot of introductions and things like that as well?
Yes.
I thought you might.
I do all the time, and also for my clients. I mean, part of our mission is not only help you with your Medicare, but we want to help you with your retirement entirely. So if you need something, we have relationships with a bunch of other organizations and companies to refer them if they need something out of our scope of the health insurance.
So right now you also do life insurance as well, is that right?
Yes.
And you do all sorts of life insurance? You can do term, you can do whole life,
I can do them all. I honestly am not an expert on that, so what I mostly do is final expense. So it's more for retired people. They need something for final expense.
If they need more complicated kind of situation.
Yeah, but if there's someone like me, younger, they need something very fancy and cash value and all these things, I do have a partner that I refer to.
Gotcha.
Because that's not my expertise. So I'm just do the basic whole life. This is what you get when you die. That's it. Yeah. Easy stuff.
Fair enough. And I had a question on the tip of my tongue, and then I just lost it. It slipped out. I guess tell me about the Greeley business community. I've gone over there networking a little bit, and I've got maybe LoCo's got 6 or 7, 8, 10 maybe members from Greeley, but I don't really know to navigate it. Is it a pretty welcoming community for new business people in general? Is it, sometimes it's kind of an old money agrarian town. Sometimes they look suspiciously at newcomers.
I don't know. Let me think. I guess the best way to the Chamber of Commerce is where you see mostly.
Yeah, is that one of your main engagements?
Yeah, the businesses. I think we're not as friendly as Fort Collins, maybe. Yeah. I gotta say, we're welcoming, but it's every time I go, it's the same people. I don't see a lot of new people. But I'm so busy. I gotta say, I'm not always all the time. So it could be different, but yeah, mostly the same businesses are participating in everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is it? in the Greeley chamber and things like that, are you one of the few like native Spanish speakers that really participates actively, or are there quite a few?
There is a couple, we're not the
too
majority, right? But yeah, there is a couple of other Spanish speaking. I know a few that are very into like politics and very into they are part of the board for the memberships and all that stuff. But I just don't participate a lot because I'm so busy. I think that's what happens when you have a business and you're the only one doing it in Spanish.
Right.
And I think that's mostly of our Latino business owners. Probably they're the only ones working with the Latino community. So we stay so busy with our clients that it's sometimes hard to, okay, now let me get another hour.
So it's underserved in some ways.
Oh, yes.
Probably even like dentists or chiropractors or whatever.
Yeah, every type of business. Yeah, I think it's underserved. Yeah.
Well, for you Spanish speakers out there, go get your chiropractor's license or whatever and start something.
Start a business. We need you.
Yeah. No, then there's so many. Somebody said today that approximately half of the businesses in the U.S. are owned by somebody over 60.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And so we're going to need to create a whole bunch more business operators, or private equity might buy up all these little businesses or something, I guess, but they're better in the hands of a what,
for sure.
Smallers.
So start saving.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, what else would you have people know about the business part of your journey? Any future aspirations? Do you want to expand your scope of services, expand your team?
That's basically my main goal. My vision, my goal is to open different little stores like the one I have in downtown Greeley.
Yeah.
Eventually just open one and, like one maybe in the Loveland area for Collins, and then another one more like Boulder, Lafayette, Longmont, like have different places, because we've seen such a need of in-person services for Medicare. And Medicare, honestly, is something you can do online. You can do it calling 1-800 number and enrolling. You don't need to do it in person, but it's so confusing that when you can
the
sit
price
down,
is the same probably anyway.
It's the same, yeah. It doesn't cost anything extra to have us help you. But we've seen so many people getting bombarded with a bunch of marketing stuff when they're about to turn 65. And it's so confusing. And so many people enroll in the wrong plan and they don't know it. And then, it's, I think that's my main, I feel when I did it in Puerto Rico, I loved it, but I wasn't really needed.
You weren't changing the world.
No.
Somebody else was going to sell those people that policy.
And another 300 doing this. But when I came here, it became such a passion for me, because I'm like, oh my gosh, these people doesn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
They're missing a lot. And then seeing the Hispanic Latino clients working their lives here, working
they
every
qualify.
Single, since they moved here, they've been working very hard, a lot of them. And they never apply because they think it's something that is going to be wrong, or, and then they get penalized. And it's so sad. I'm like, no, we need to change this. So that's my why, or the reason why I want to create more like me in different places. Yeah.
So would you potentially like rent a location or buy a little location or whatever, and then like almost have like desk rent that would cover it with your subcontractors kind of thing?
Yeah, something like that. Or eventually just hiring agents that work for me instead of being independent. Yeah. Just hiring people to work and for my own book and serve more clients. So more like internal agents with me.
And then you could just kind of ultimately be trainer, rainmaker, cheerleader.
Yep. And then let them do the hard work.
What would you do like if you all of a sudden only had a 20-hour-a-week obligatory role? Like, how would you spend that extra time?
Dancing or traveling. Love to travel. But yeah, I guess, being in activities and meeting people like always and participating in cultural stuff. Do
you imagine giving back to the community in some way, maybe serving on a nonprofit board, or trying to change the way things are?
Probably be more active in the chamber of commerce and things like that, and
Sure.
and the community engagement and helping out. I mean, right now I'm part of the advisory board for Area Agency on Aging, so I help them with the view as a Latino, right?
Sure.
Aging in the state, and giving my or being a voice for the Latino community. I'm the only.
And plus, you're an aggregator of voices because you've got hundreds and hundreds of
clients.
60, 70 something clients.
Yeah, so I love to do that, but there is so much need, a lot of need. Like I'm not enough at all. So it's like, oh my gosh, we need a lot more voices here.
Well, I would challenge you to, don't be shy. Like, look for those, even though employees are scarier than contractors, kind of ultimately to deliver the service and product that you really want to make sure you have that quality and stuff. That's what it's going to take. And you're going to have a lot of impact that way. Like your powers through a lot of other people's hands and voices and support. It's a cool thing.
That's a good idea.
I'm excited about it.
For sure.
So, do you want to take a quick break before we go to the closing segments?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
All right.
This episode is sponsored by LoCo Think Tank. LoCo Think Tank provides peer collaboration for business owners. We build smart, safe places to help business leaders navigate every stage of the business journey, and we love what we do and who we do it with. Our model features give-back-minded business veterans in the role of LoCo facilitators, and we're always looking for abundance-minded individuals to add to our membership, facilitator team, LoCo community, or to feature on this podcast. Listeners of this podcast who go on to become members of LoCo Think Tank get their 6th month of membership for free. Just mention the LoCo Experience podcast on your application. To learn more, visit our website at locothinktank.com. That's LOCO thinktank.com.
And we're back. So, as you know, because you've listened to a few episodes or a few of several, do you have any favorites that you've listened to of the LoCo experience?
I haven't listened.
You haven't listened. Oh,
I
you
need
just
to
read.
Start. Yeah,
Well,
this
you
is
don't
all
need
new
to.
for me.
Yeah, no. I think you're going to be about number 111.
Oh wow!
Of these that I've done over the last couple of years.
Awesome. Yeah.
So anyway,
but I've been part of like LoCo 3 months now.
I suppose.
Yeah. So it's been a lot. I love it.
Useful.
Oh yes.
Good.
Yes.
Good. Yeah. I think let the record show that I invited you on the podcast before selling you very hard on the LoCo membership. Even I just thought your story was amazing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I know.
So as you know, faith, family, politics is our closing segments, and so we've talked a little bit about your family along the way. But do you want to start there? You would rather start somewhere else?
After all that story of my moving and all that, unfortunately I have to go through a divorce. So it was a hard time for me because it was right before COVID.
Oh, is that right?
So, of course, I wasn't expecting it.
It was already in process or whatever. And
so, January I got divorced and then boom, March, COVID.
Wow.
So I wasn't expecting that. It was a really, really hard turn in my life, especially with the kids and adjusting to everything. Plus now no school and oh my gosh. So it's been a couple of rough years after that. But
financially, emotionally, all of the
mostly
above.
Emotionally. I gotta say financially, thank God we were okay. My business was running as normal.
Yeah, it was growing.
And it was growing even with the pandemic. We did everything virtually and we managed it. So it was good. But emotionally, it was a really hard part of my life because...
Well, and
the kids.
You know why divorces cost so much?
Oh, yes.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because it's worth it. That's an old joke. But, as somebody said a while back, no good marriages end in divorce, unfortunately.
That's true.
So I've got a lot of grace. Is there Luis was your husband, and is he still around? Is he part of the kids' lives?
Yes, he's still around. Of course, I gotta say, it's hard when you think you know someone and then you go through a divorce and everything changes. Like it's a totally different person, and that was really hard on me because I thought I was gonna be, even though divorced, but I was still gonna count with
friends,
his support with the kids
whatever.
and all that, and it's been such a hard struggle, and I understand maybe some trust issues and I guess his way of maybe coping with things, I don't know, but it's been hard because I'm being completely like by myself with the kids. And
Wow.
and even though he does take care of our younger son, and we did this 1 week on, 1 week off. Honestly, when we did all that, I was doing it in a good faith of we're gonna work together. It's fine. Let's just do the paperwork for the divorce and let's just run with it. But we're gonna work together as a team. And then after the divorce happened, it was like none of that. So now my son, it's been hard for him. The 1 week on, 1 week off. It's been very hard. We're finally in a better place, but the first couple of years, and I know COVID had to do with it and a bunch of changes, but it was really hard for him to move from one home to another.
How old is he now? You're younger.
He's 9.
9.
Mm-hmm.
So you're older as a teenager right now.
He's 15.
15.
Yes. Yes.
So I always do a one-word description of the kids. So if you can imagine, can you give your 2 sons names also as well as
one word description? Justin, adventurer.
Like his mama.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna pay them all with him. And Isaias.
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 That's how you would say it
in Spanish. Yes. It's a one word for him. Leader. I mean, he is.
That's impressive.
Super like.
And he's the 15-year-old?
No,
he's the 9-year-old. Wow. Okay.
Super like he knows how to use his words, and he really knows how to. I see him running my business.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Justin is more like fun and. I mean, I guess it's part of he's a teenager, right? But
right.
But
I get scolded for being a little too whimsical sometimes. Like, this is serious business. You can't be cracking jokes and stuff all the time. It's like, well, yeah, and life is for engaging in and finding humor in.
Yes, for sure. But I mean, I'm blessed with my boys, even though being such a young mom and having to do all this, and now being all by myself. My boys are my world, and they are so like good. I mean, yes, they do one thing or other. I mean, they're still kids or teenagers. They're gonna sometimes be
dumb
naughty.
Things. Well, they're boys, so
exactly.
that means they will do dumb things.
Yeah. But I gotta say that they're very good boys. They are very respectful, very they're very when they speak with people, that you can see how they are very secure and they are very comfortable.
Self-assured kind of.
Yeah, very comfortable. And they meet with my clients. They come to our office. They come with me to events.
So cool.
So I make them part of it a lot. And sometimes they're like, Mom, can we stop? We don't want to do this.
I do not want to go to the chamber.
I don't want to be in this meeting. But
they're getting about that age now. You've got a home and stuff, so
yes,
I'm
so excited. Mm-hmm.
Congratulations. Do they get a chance to see their grandparents some? And
yes.
Are your folks still around?
Yeah, I do take them to Puerto Rico every year. So we go visit during the summer. Yeah. Usually we spend like a whole month in Puerto Rico. Nice. With my mom. Sometimes if I have to leave, they stay with my mom. And then she brings them or pick them up, whatever it is. Now they're older enough to travel by themselves, but in the past. So that's my main thing. That's like no negotiable. We need to go see the family. And be with your culture and your people. So
I really enjoyed we were there for almost maybe only 3 or 4 days, but we went up into the mountains, which is what a lot of the people do, and go have barbecues and dances and stuff like that. And it was really so much different than the culture of the city.
Oh, yeah.
And just all the sounds and stuff like that. And then you go to the country and it's like more like villages that you imagine, right?
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, the city is like every city. Everybody's busy. Everybody's working. Everybody's, mad because there's a lot of traffic.
Right.
But I got to say, I mean, I love my culture. We're so happy. We celebrate everything. I don't know if you saw the baseball games were happening. It ended yesterday, actually. But Puerto Rico was part of the semifinals. And we lost to Mexico. But we were celebrating. It doesn't matter.
Right.
We're celebrating even though we lost. So that's the part of the way we are. We love to celebrate. We make a party for everything. Doesn't matter.
I love it. What do you imagine for, in 10 short years. One of the benefits of being a teen mom is then when you're not even 40, you're going to be like,
I know. I'm not gonna have I'm gonna be an empty nester.
right.
At 35. I don't know. I honestly see myself retiring. Honestly, I love what I do. I love to work, so I don't think I'm gonna be just without working. But I know that if I keep going the way we're going, I'll be fully able to just say, "You run the business. Let me know if anything," and and just go travel and I mean, hopefully have another relationship that I can enjoy retirement.
Are you a single lady now?
Yes.
Yeah, on the market.
Yes.
Okay, for you lucky guys out there. Better if you're bilingual, but not necessary.
But yeah, so I don't know. Let's just see. But I see for sure myself just enjoying what I didn't enjoy when I was a teen.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you still found places to shake your booty and stuff like that.
I love it. Yes.
Fair.
Yes. That's my therapist.
That's your therapy.
Instead of going to a therapist, I go dance.
Yeah.
And I'm fine next day.
Our last so before the Brazilian exchange, didn't we had a young boy from our 17-year-old young man from Italy. And that was his thing, was clubs and dancing. And toward the end of his stay with us, we went to Mexico, and I took him down to the clubs in Cancun
nice.
Wow, I was like, he's like, you just gotta not think, just let your body move.
I'm like, feel it.
I'm too old to do that. People will make fun of me.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I gotta say, I found a group of dancing community here in Fort Collins, actually, where we meet every week for dance, salsa.
I was gonna say like salsa, Latin,
Latin
kind of stuff.
dance lessons, and then we do social dancing, and it's once a week for a couple of hours, and that's been a very important part of my life, and it has helped me a lot with managing all the emotional stuff that I was going through and the divorce and all the situations that I've been going through. Because it's my where I can really relax and not think about anything else but dancing. So.
Well, and just after many years of marriage and having children and stuff, and then losing so much social contact all of a sudden right at the same time.
Yes.
So I have to think that feels wonderful to have somebody's arms touching mine as we dance. I know, right?
Yes, for sure. And it's very respectful community. Even though you're dancing and all that, everybody's super respectful. A lot of married couples go and everybody dances with everybody, so it's not really.
So where's that at? You want to plug in it? Is it you have to register to attend or
no,
whatever?
No. It's at Scrumpy's.
Really?
I think it's cider.
Yeah.
That every Thursday.
Thursday nights at Scrumpy's.
Yeah, they do Latin dance lessons.
Do they do lessons for rookies too?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is
when Jill hears this, she's gonna probably drag me down there.
Beginner, it doesn't matter. You can learn no matter your level.
Fair enough. I love it. I love it.
It's very fun. Yeah.
Anything in the family department that we should talk more about? In
the family?
Yeah.
I mean, buying a house.
Yeah, that's great news.
Great news. Finally.
Brand new house?
No, it's not. Is that, what do you call it?
Resale or whatever.
But it's amazing. I honestly been trying to buy a house for so long. I did it when I was married. We couldn't. And then now as a single, just me buying a house and being a 1099, type of income, how that goes, where they do average of your income and then you don't qualify for enough. So it's been always
interest rates go up.
Exactly. It's always been that fight of finally I have more income. No, now houses are more expensive. And, but this year I was like, it's time. I got to do it. And I finally find the right people, the right team. And I'm under contract. So
here's a fist bump. Boom.
I know. So I'm super excited. I took the boys actually yesterday to go see the house.
Oh, yeah.
Because this house, I wasn't really expecting them to accept my offer. It's a beautiful home.
So it's nicer than you thought you were going to be able to get, kind of.
Yeah. And the boys loved it. They were like picking rooms already, fighting who's going to be here or there, And then I'll have enough space to have family come over and stay with me if they want to from Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
I know my mom's going to be the first one
Yeah.
to kind of move in with me for a couple of months.
Yeah, or is she still have a career going at home?
She's,
No?
I mean, she does insurance, but like me, independently. So she's not really an employee or nothing. She can travel as much as she wants.
And you can do mother-daughter road trips in the future.
I know she's going to be the first one.
So I suppose, is there, like, because you're Puerto Rico, which is kind of part of the U.S., there is really no immigration or any obligation for that or anything like that?
No, nothing at all. I got to say that was a very learning curve for me because working with the Mexican or, Hispanic community, I didn't know anything about the
You were familiar with green cards and visas
nothing
and
like
all that citizenship process?
No, because we move. I mean, in Puerto Rico, it's like moving from Texas to Colorado. You
Right,
don't need to
same
do
diff.
anything. You change your license, and that's it.
Right. Update your insurance license.
Update your stuff. That's it. So that was a learning curve for me, learning how to help my clients. And are you a citizen? Like when? I didn't even know what to ask.
Right.
So
they don't have to be a citizen, right? As long as they've been working here and paying taxes for 10 years, then you're good.
You just need to be a resident for at least 5 years.
Okay, I see.
And then of course worked for more than 10. But nothing else. But
yeah.
But I mean, from Puerto Rico, it's you move here and just start all over. The good thing is the systems don't communicate. So if you have tickets in your license,
unpaid child support,
United States not gonna know. So when I moved here, I didn't have any tickets, but I was about to renew my license, my driver license in Puerto Rico. And I moved here and they gave me a whole new one for 4 years without having to
there you go.
renew it. So I'm like, okay, thank you.
There was a story from our first coffee that you shared, like, because you didn't know any Puerto Ricans, so you built like some kind of a Facebook group or something like that. Did you not? For Puerto Ricans from all across the state?
Oh my gosh, yes. So because I was so lonely here and I'm like, I need my people. Let me just do a Facebook post. I started with a Facebook post saying who's Puerto Rican in Colorado, and a bunch of people added, kind of liked it and comment on it. And then we created a WhatsApp chat and then we were like 50 people there, and I started, hey, let's just do a road trip together, let's do this, let's plan something so we can all be together and our kids can play with other Puerto Rican kids and help them with that part of their lives. And I remember we went to Mount Rushmore. Imagine over 60 Puerto Ricans all wearing blue shirts and a Puerto Rican flag.
I love it.
Going to go see the Mount Rushmore, like the area there.
We bring every one of our exchange students to Mount Rushmore because it's like halfway home when I go home to see my family.
Okay, good. So, people there wasn't very happy with us.
Really?
Because we're loud and we're...
Whatever. Screw those old slouches. Yeah, you guys are a little spicy for South Dakota.
We are. And then we all got together in front of the Mount Rushmore with a flag saying, take a picture. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. And then we booked a hotel. The whole hotel was ours.
Right, the restaurants never had
we did a karaoke. Oh my god.
The karaoke bar never saw what hit them.
No, it was Spanish songs, reggaeton.
There was probably never so much salsa dancing at a karaoke.
No, never. They were looking at us like we were aliens. Like, what is this?
You let them in here?
I know. Go to your country. And then awesome. Because of that, all those pictures and videos, a lot of more people were like, I want to be part of that. Oh my gosh. So I created a Facebook group or page, Puerto Ricans in Colorado. It is called Hangueo Boricua in Colorado, which is like hanging out with Puerto Ricans in Colorado.
Oh. So even a guy like me can just hang out with Puerto Ricans if I want to?
Yeah, you can follow us. Yeah, we would do events and you can show up. Yeah.
We could all go up to Estes Park or something like that sometime.
So it was more about let's bring everybody to places that they don't know, or just get together in a brewery and just have fun. And I remember it was a blast. I mean, a lot of places were giving me free drinks and everything because I'm bringing.
You were like an influencer before that was really a thing.
I know, it was an influencer. And then we were like, I remember being at the different like breweries saying, "Hey, can we play some music? Because we have this group coming in," and they're like, "What type of music?" "Well, Latin music." And "Oh yeah, that's okay, no worries." Oh my gosh, it was like everybody dancing. Like it wasn't just music, it was a party. And then we bring these instruments with us, and we're doing all like the cultural songs we have. It was amazing, but people loved it. No complaints at all. And then, I mean, it grew so much. We hit like more than 3,000 likes on the page, and our events were like always at least 100, 200 people.
Wow.
At every event. And it was I didn't charge any. It was just, let's just get together. That was all. But then COVID hit, and I was going through my divorce and kind of stopped doing it. And now it's still happening. A friend of mine is kind of like running it a little bit.
Yeah.
But not so much events. It's more like posting.
Posts and
like,
share your videos here or something,
and that's
whatever.
what you can do. And
you can go check out this place.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, there's a really cool adventure park up the top of the hill from Glenwood Springs.
Oh, yeah. I think I've never been, but I think I saw it.
Yeah, they've got like
Glenwood Adventure or
something like that. Yeah. It would be a great place to bring 200 Puerto Ricans sometime.
I don't know about that.
I'm not sure they could handle it, but
we went to the View House to watch the games like last week. Oh my gosh, we were so loud. I was a little bit embarrassed, honestly. I was like, oh my gosh, people, please lower
and you're not even the loudest one.
And I'm not.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Thanks for sharing. I was looking forward to share that story and learning more. So family that we just talked about. So politics and faith are our other two mandatory segments. Yeah. You don't have to say anything you don't want.
I don't know.
I heard you talking about like how a lot of the bilingual people are like politically oriented in Greeley or in some fashion. Mm-hmm.
I don't know a lot about politics, honestly.
Just period.
I ignore that.
Generally in American politics, the Cubans are all pretty conservative because they're like anti-communist because they're like, hey, this sucks. That's what we left for a reason. Yeah. I would assume Puerto Rico seems more likely to be the other way, where they really like government programs and opportunities to kind of. Yeah. Because they're kind of reliant upon U.S. federal fundings for a lot of their situation. So they're pretty accustomed to that. Is that good? You think that's healthy for Puerto Rico to be so reliant upon the U.S.? Or
I guess it's like
both good and bad, one of those kind of things?
Good and bad because of, I guess it's been so long that we've been under the umbrella of, being part of the United States. Yes, we have a lot of good things and good benefits, right? We're citizens, we can move, we don't have any restrictions or anything like that, but also the island is suffering so much because of the competition, right? I mean, being part of the United States means now we need to leave or let all these American companies come into our island and then our local businesses can survive. I mean, the local store can compete with Walmart, right? And then also Home Depot. Like like we have all these American companies, and it's so. And maybe it's part of our fault as Puerto Rican. The government maybe not being more strict about how many stores are you gonna let come in. We have more Walmarts and Walgreens per mile than in the United States. Wow. It's like everywhere. So it's been oversaturated.
Yeah, which every Walgreens that you see means there's like 8 small stores that are no longer in business.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's been very hard for the community and for the local businesses. Yeah. And a lot of us have to leave because, again, there's no good jobs, no good opportunities.
Well, I was just thinking to myself that because of the U.S. connection and stuff, like, yes, pay isn't as high as up here and stuff like that, but it's actually higher than a lot of the other islands in the Caribbean and stuff. Yes. Right? So you can't really compete with them very good either because your costs are so high for tourist dollars and stuff. It's a little more expensive maybe than going to St. Martin. Yeah. Maybe I'm not right about that, but.
No, I mean, it is. But because we have the everything has to be shipped through United States. Our food and all our supplies are more expensive.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So even if
The cost of living is higher.
it's higher. Yeah. And
except
even
for the
if
few
we
things that
have something done in Puerto Rico, like the sugar or
right.
milk or whatever, we have to pay for the shipping of it. It's stupid. I don't know why. It's like, I mean, I guess we are kind of stuck in a love-hate relationship, I guess.
Fair.
Yeah.
If they were like calling a vote today, hey, should Puerto Rico be a full and proper state or gain independence? Which would you lean toward?
I don't know. Probably.
Or just keep it like it is. The status quo is okay.
No. I guess I would say independently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's so much we can do with the island, and I know, I mean, I'm grateful for all the things the United States, does and help us, but it's so much they're taking from the island that I know. But I know if we think about our whole community, is so many people is so used to be part of the United States, and that they're gonna go the other way. So we're always been in that limbo where it's like, half people wants to be a state, half of the people wants to be independent, and then the government does whatever they want.
Right.
So that's why, yeah.
So here's another political area for you that you might not want to venture into, but when I characterize the COVID response in northern Colorado, I'm like, well, Windsor was really weird because you didn't know if a store was like masks only or don't wear your mask in here.
Oh.
Fort Collins was pretty strict and stern, and Greeley, COVID really didn't exist too much.
No. Yeah.
I went to a Rotary Club meeting in Greeley when we were still 6 months away from being back in person in Fort Collins, and it was really weird, we were all spaced 6 feet apart and stuff, but like, who did it better, Greeley or Fort Collins?
Greeley.
So you're a Liberty person as well.
Yeah.
It didn't really seem like their outcomes were much different.
No, honestly, I think it's some regulations were too far. Like, okay, I understand we need a mask, but is it really doing it different? Is it really gonna change things? I touch my face more with a mask than without it.
Yeah. Jill got like acne for the first time since she was 20.
I know. So I mean,
well, and those bugs are really small.
Yeah. So I guess I was lucky and really we didn't really. Yeah, I mean, some people still are a little bit strict about it, but overall,
I mean, yes, there was stuff, but it was less.
Whatever is more comfortable for you. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was okay to do it the first 6 months when everything was really dangerous.
No one really knew what was up.
And know a lot of information and all that. I think that was important to do the first, air part of it. But then.
How did your clients react? I mean, they're a little older, but they're also, Spanish speaking. Generally, they probably, I suspect they maybe have some level of mistrust for what our government wants them to do and stuff at times.
For sure. I mean, I gotta say, we did a lot of outreach to our clients because there was a lot of isolation for the seniors. Yeah. And that was our main concern. Spikes on mental health and
just depression and separation and whatever,
because of being isolated from family or friends. We did a lot of drive-through through my office. Oh. It was more like I remember I outreached them. We have toilet paper. We have food. Like, let us know whatever you need. And a lot of them enrolled with me over the phone, but some of them were just driving through the office and signing everything in the car and then leaving. And then we had to do, I did a Christmas drive-through event, and they all got presents and little tres leches.
You are so like inventive.
Oh, I know. So I was like, I need to connect with my clients and need to make sure they're okay. So we did that, and they loved it. And I mean, always picking up the phone, and a lot of them just wanted to talk, and that's what we did. But and checking on them. And I gotta say also the Medicare companies did a great job by reaching out, sending them whatever they need, sending them masks, sending nurses to their homes, you know.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it was a good support from the companies.
Yeah, so they got the service that they were hoping for from those plans.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Cool.
But,
that's enough grilling you on politics.
thank you.
Faith. We haven't talked
Yes.
about faith. I assume it. Maybe I don't know. Tell me. Is there a big church element in Puerto Rico generally? Is it
yes.
Catholics mostly?
Mostly, yeah. Christians.
Roman Catholics.
Yeah.
Some Christians too. Evangelical.
Yeah, evangelical. I think we're like half. Evangelical and Catholics. I am evangelical. So, I mean, going to church, it's been hard, honestly, to find the right church for me here in Colorado. Because it's very different. And
can you describe a Puerto Rican evangelical church?
Well, we're more louder, I guess.
Well, that's everywhere.
Louder. The services are longer. The pastors are like very like family, you know. And
almost like I imagine, like a what people imagine as like a black church.
Exactly.
The worship,
but
and
Latino version.
Get loud, you know, and tell the Lord you love him, you know, or whatever.
Just like that. And I was very active in my church in Puerto Rico, and since when we moved here, that was one of the things that we never found like a church. Now I'm starting to. I had to move into an English, service in English, because of my kids. I was taking them to a Spanish church here. I mean, it's not the same vibe. It's Mexican.
Yeah.
So the pastor is Mexican, it was great. I loved it, but it was different. You know, I guess we don't connect the same way.
Yeah.
And then they don't speak a lot. I mean, they do understand Spanish and speak a lot, but it's different for them.
They don't prefer it necessarily.
They don't. I mean, imagine. I mean, some church is kind of boring for kids sometimes.
Right.
Imagine in Spanish, you know, they're like, I don't want to be here, mom. So I had to switch into an English once for them, at least to understand what's happening and at least get something out of it.
Yeah.
So I actually recently found a very good church. One of my clients invited me. And we love it. It's the only thing. It's only 1 hour, so you go.
Oh wow!
Everything in 1 hour, and you're done. And I'm like, I need more. But my kids love it because it's just 1 hour.
Right. And they may have some small groups or something else that you can engage with.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna do is probably go to the Spanish and then the English is right after, and then bring the kids or something. So yeah.
Does Puerto Rico have all like the different flavors of evangelical kind of where you've got Baptists and Methodists and Lutherans and whatever?
Yeah. All of them. And same like here, we all like have our opinions about one of each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we are very religious. Like, it doesn't matter.
Faith was kind of assumed in your family with your mom and things.
My grandma, my uncle's very
heritage.
active in the church, so it's part of my
So is it maybe more prominent? Like in America, it's probably half of people don't ever go to church, really.
Yeah, no. In Puerto Rico, you don't go to church, and what's wrong with you?
Right. I wondered about that.
You need to go to church, you know. So it's very important in our culture. Most of us.
Sure.
Not everybody, but especially in my family. And we are very spiritual, too. So it's like if things are not going right in your life, you're always going to have someone. If you're in Puerto Rico, either a neighbor, aunt, or friends saying we need to pray. We need to, this is a...
drop everything.
Yeah.
Valeria's got a tough time coming.
Yeah, so it's like,
cool.
Let's pray for you. Hey, I have this, how do you call it? Like the oil, I don't know
like an anointing kind of thing? Yeah.
We have this for you. Put in your house, put in your car, put in your backpack,
Okay.
We're very spiritual like that. So my mom is, like sending me, hey, when I was going through my kids' stage of like the divorce and everything, she's like, we're praying for you and let's get all together and FaceTime and let's pray. It's like, that's how we are.
Interesting. Yeah. I like
so
it.
It's a very important part. And also, I guess, finding a partner, that's something important for me too, because it's
you'd want them to already be of faith.
Yeah, I mean, is in my house, if we're in trouble, we go on our knees and we pray about it. So that's part. It's very important for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah.
Anything else in the faith department that deserves attention?
No, I mean, still looking, trying to connect really, and really connect with the church. And I just don't want to get. I'm so I love to serve that every time I go to a church, I know even a month, and the pastor is asking me to do something. And I'm like, God, I know you want me to, but I'm so busy. So, but I'm trying to really connect and really engage with church before moving into another role.
With the business trajectory you're on, it won't be too long before you can carve out a little more time to do the service things that you would love to do.
I hope so, yeah. Mm-hmm.
The LoCo experience is the crazy experience of your lifetime that you're willing to share. One of, I'm suspecting there's more than one with you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, a lot. I was thinking, remember when we talked about the call center, right? Imagine me working in this call center, and this was a very funny story, with a bunch of Americans, white people, I guess.
Right.
And me learning English, right? I don't really know a lot, and I think part of the harder part of learning a new language, it's not just translating and understanding, it's more the hurg of it. Like, how do you call things? How do you communicate?
Which choice is the word that you pick or whatever? Yeah,
because even in Colorado, you call a pup and it's a soda, and so those type of ways. And like, what do you mean? So imagine me from Puerto Rico not knowing English, not knowing anything, and then this group of we were in this during this day. No phone calls. It was a very slow day, and they said, let's just play a game. And they say, Valeria, you want to play with us? And I say, okay, fine. They started playing Cards Against Humanity.
Oh gosh. Well, that's a good learning experience.
I didn't even know what I was doing. I remember having this guy next to me. His name is Ian. Oh my gosh, Ian, if you hear this, you're my savior. But I'm asking him all this weird stuff. I'm like, Ian, what does this mean? And he's trying
to explain all these raunchy.
Trying to explain to me all this weird stuff. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
No, wait a second. I'm going to need you to draw me a picture of that.
I was so lost. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? And of course, I'm throwing cards without even knowing what I'm doing. I'm like, yeah, I think this goes with this.
Enough.
I don't know.
Well, there's so much slang and there's so much
so I don't even know what it mean, anything of it. I'm like, I mean, it's such a weird game. Like,
I played Cards Against Humanity for the second time with my mother, who was like 67 in the room at the time with me and all my siblings and their kids.
Oh my gosh, no.
So we have similar stories of Cards Against Humanity.
I remember they're like, don't Google that, don't Google it.
Don't watch the video if you do.
And I'm like, no. I'm like, but what is it? Like, what am I doing? Like, what do you mean with this? And poor Ian, he was always like trying to explain it to me in a proper way.
Right.
Yes.
And how old? Because at this time you're like a 24-year-old or something like that, right?
Like 23, and he's like 34. So
right, he's just blushing and stumbling.
So he was like, "This is when you do this." I'm like, "Oh my god." So I still remember that day. It was like, I'm never going to play this game again.
You could probably do a lot better now.
I don't even know.
Most of the English you've picked up isn't going to be that translatable.
No, I don't think so. Okay. I'll still have doubts. Like, what? Oh my gosh, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this conversation half as much as I did.
Yes.
And I look forward to the next time we can spend together. And I guess before we let you go, though, if people want to look you up, do you want to share like a phone number, website, that kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean, of course, if you want to learn more about the business, or maybe you need Medicare, you can call our office. It's 970-347-0394. That's the office number. And if you want to find me on social media, you can also find us at Vortiz Insurance. So it's V for Valeria, Ortiz Insurance. That's our name in social media. And we have Instagram, Facebook.
Awesome.
And that's it. Yeah.
Very good.
And you might see a TikTok account, but that's my son doing all the videos there.
Okay.
That's not us.
The older son or the younger?
The younger. He's doing It's a funny story. Once I got a bunch of notifications. You're getting like likes and TikTok, and people is following you on TikTok, and I'm like, I don't even do videos for TikTok. And I opened my account. Well, he opened an account on my phone with my email for the business, so Vortiz Insurance. And then it's a bunch of videos of him just doing dancing and Fortnite
teenager
stuff. No, he's 9.
So the 9-year-old, sorry.
It's the younger one, yeah. So he's doing a bunch of videos, and I said, hey, why don't you do videos for me explaining the things about Medicare and all that? And he did a couple of those, but then he started doing again the funny ones.
So it's an educational TikTok channel mixed with some
9-year-old
Call of Duty
stuff.
and whatever.
Fortnite. Yeah.
Awesome.
So we cover every age. Doesn't matter.
I had an Instagram post go viral last fall, and it got like 380,000 likes.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, well, I hope they all like food pictures and whatever, So anyway, I digress.
There you
This
go.
was great.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the LoCo Experience podcast, produced and sponsored by LoCo Think Tank. This is your producer, Alma Ariano. Check out our website at thelocoexperience.com to find all of our episodes, nominate future guests, or leave us a message. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn at The LoCo Experience. To support the show, please subscribe and share it with your favorite people. Until next time, stay LoCo.